Okay, fine, you all win. I'll try playing a defensive midfielder. Hello folks and welcome to part 133 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have a home game against Everton in the Premier League, followed by an FA Cup 6th round game against Bristol City. Since you were last with me, I mean the cup game was good. We knocked Swansea out of the FA Cup. Swansea are a championship team. Bristol City are a championship team though, so an FA Cup run has the potential to continue. However, we have lost two very winnable games in the Premier League, plus a game against Arsenal, which actually, that was fairly winnable as well. But this one was disgusting against Burnley. We actually had the message come up saying that the players had agreed to refund the fans for the price of the tickets. I've not had that in this save yet. We were just awful, and that is what's finally led me towards making the decision to change the tactic up a little bit. Position wise in the league, 8 games to go, 7-point gap. We still need those. We need at least 2 wins. I think ideally we'd be looking for 3 more wins. This Everton game has got to be one of them, and we've got to stop giving away so many goals at the back. So this is what we're doing. We're going to a diamond. It's a slight tweak to the way the 4-3-1-2 works. It's nothing revolutionary. So we've just taken out the Carolero and pushed him back to be an anchorman. And it just so happens that we've got a ready-made 3-star ability anchorman at the club in the shape of Daniel Higgins. You might remember from last season. Played a few games for us down in the Championship. And he looked like a decent prospect. But he's not really a central midfield player. If you move him up to central midfield, he'd only be our 10th choice. But he is a natural defensive midfielder and the best one we've got at the club. Plus, he's got 4.5-star potential. So we might actually have a bit of a superstar in that position if we end up using this system going forward. But we've got to beat Everton today, or else I'm just going to abandon the plan. Now is not the time to be fiddling with tactics. We've just got to grind out some results somehow. In fact, why have I got Egan in goal? I was toying with dropping Zakwani after he conceded 5 goals in the last game. He's still the best keeper at the club, but now only level with Egan on current ability and has conceded 15 goals in 5 games. I'm starting to understand why I was bringing Egan back into the team. But we'll go Zakwani for today. He was our record transfer and he'd only played 5 games. So we are going to have Zakwani in goal, a back four of Bettin, Humphreys, King and Galliano, with Higgins there as the anchorman. Palesso and Smith are our midfield, with Earl in behind Venner and Hull. Afsharian apparently only scores against Chelsea, so I've gone back to my whole not playing Afsharian thing. Sean Hull was the last striker to have a good game for us. It was a long time ago now, and it was against Swansea in the Cup, but a good game's a good game, and it's been a while. Venner, actually that's not fair. Venner was quite good against Arsenal, but we did lose that game, so it didn't really matter. In fact, Venner's been pretty good in all games. He just doesn't seem to be a goal scorer. He's playing that complete forward support role and does seem to be making things happen around him. It's just the things that are happening aren't being converted by everyone else. Right. We want to win. And what we want, 2 things. We want to win, and we want this system to look like it actually works. We want Higgins to have a good game, because obviously if the system works, we can go out and buy ourselves a 4-star defensive midfielder in the summer if we're still in the Premier League. Obviously, if we're down in the Championship, Higgins will be more than good enough. And to be honest, we wouldn't need to use this system down in the Championship either, because we've already shown we can just outscore teams at that level. And the games we've won this season in the Premier League, they are examples of that. We've been outscoring teams. Was that a penalty? Of course it's a penalty, because we just always give the penalties away. Oh, come on, Zakwani, make a good save. Start making up. No, just no. Conceded 5 goals in your last game. He's the one who came out to the media and said we're refunding the fans, which is fair enough. He was rubbish, but now not saving penalties either. Thought you might try a little bit harder, but apparently not. What I am very worried about with this system is that we're going to take too much away from our attacking oomph. Not that we've really had any attacking oomph recently. There you go, Sean Hull. That's a perfect example of no attacking oomph. He had 2 better options and decided to just kick the ball vaguely forward, and it was just utterly pointless. Why is it all going so wrong? We've just got to gamble on Stoke and Crystal Palace just being even worse than we are, because I don't know that we've got it in us to play ourselves out of this situation. Everyone around us is going to have a game in hand on us after this game as well. Imagine if Stoke win that game in hand, which I think is played this weekend when we're faffing around in the FA Cup. But imagine if Stoke win that game and we've got 7 games to go and it's only a 4-point gap. At that point, I think we'd probably throw in the towel and accept we're getting relegated, because I'm running out of ideas. This was all I had, and we haven't had a shot on target yet, because apparently we need that extra man in midfield to make shots happen. Higgins to Palaiso. Come on, let's grab a goal, please. I need some positivity. Palaiso plays Earl in. That was a beautiful pass, and Earl should have done better. It's our first real opportunity of the game, and Earl's got to score that. He forces a save, and it's Higgins to take the corner, and Higgins hopefully with the follow-up. No, he can't quite get there, and now we've got Everton breaking on us, but luckily the highlight ends. Looking at the stats, it has been a fairly even game. We're not playing badly, we're in terrible form. Morale is just shot. I've had to stick Josh Sawyer and Chris Ruggles down in the reserves because they're both moaning about not getting game time. They were our team leaders at the moment. Our only team leader now is Tony Barron, who, there you go, he's on the bench too, so he's going to be moaning about lack of game time soon. Let's get Graziani on, and Holmquist has been rubbish, and I want to get Del Gaudio on as well. And there you go, triple substitution in key positions. Let's please go and grab a win. I don't even need a winner, just an equaliser. Let's show we can still accumulate Premier League points. I said we need another 2 wins, really, but 4 draws. 4 draws gets the job done as well, probably. I don't think Stoke are going to win that many of their remaining games. 40 points was our pre-season target. I think if we get to 35, we're probably going to be safe, unless Stoke somehow go on a 5-game winning run, which if they're going to do that, they're going to catch us regardless of what we do, because we've not got that in us. And it's 2-0, and it's frustrating because looking at that, the stats are fairly even. The one that's let us down is that we've only had 1 shot on target from 10 opportunities. So we're actually being let down by the area of the team that has always been our strength. We're not playing well going forward. Del Gaudio, ball over the top to Graziani. Can he be the answer for us? At least it's a shot on target. Forces another corner. Graziani immediately looked more lively than Hull did the entire game. Looked more lively than Afsharian did in the last game. Graziani again getting into a position. Perhaps Graziani needs another run in the team again. He was looking pretty good earlier in the season, combining with Del Gaudio. But Del Gaudio, now we're playing with an attacking midfielder again to suit Earl rather than a playmaker. I mean, what do I do? I don't want 2 playmakers in my midfield. So if we're going to have Del Gaudio in as an advanced playmaker, I guess Palaiso then has to become a box-to-box midfielder, maybe? I'll fiddle with that somehow if we decide to give Del Gaudio a run. But really, Earl has been one of the few attacking high points for us recently, so I'm not keen to take him out of the team, but we haven't really looked very good going forward there, have we? We've been mugged. Clear-cut chances, 2-2. We lose 2-0. A good old-fashioned Premier League mugging. And confidence is shot going into this Bristol City game. And now I don't know what's best, because obviously confidence-wise we want to beat them. They're in the division below us. We should be able to beat them, but I can't help but think the reason for that terrible run of form is because the players are getting distracted at the prospect of an FA Cup run, and the FA Cup just doesn't matter. We need to stay in the Premier League. There's a record for us to be proud of. We came into the Premier League and set a record. To be honest, I expected to set the lowest points total ever record, and we've already avoided that one. But that does... I don't think anyone's surprised by that, are they? Someone did say there is a way to see if we are... There we go, stats. I want to see the penalties conceded stat, but I don't know if that's a thing we can actually find. Here we go, penalties. Is that on here somewhere? Penalties. Because I speculated at 25, I think, in the last... Penalties conceded. So, who's got the record for most penalties conceded? 12. I mean, it's not 25, but it's still so many more than everybody else. It's almost double the next worst. We've got to stop giving penalties away. Couple of changes for the FA Cup game against Bristol City. Then I am bringing Egan back in goal. Zakwani I mean, I mean, Egan's probably no better, actually. I haven't actually looked at that stat fit. Oh, we've got to stop conceding so many goals. Egan comes back in today. Robertson in at left back. Taggart in at centre back. We're trying to do something to change up the defence. I just don't know if what we're trying to do is the right thing. Complete change in midfield. Fiat and Hayes in for, who was it? Barron? No, it was Smith and Palaiso before. I don't even care. The midfield is rubbish too. And we're also bringing Brown in up front to try him alongside Venner. I am the one hope. The one high point at the moment is Venner, who, although he's not scoring goals, is a much higher average rating than everybody else in the team at the moment. So that's why Venner plays. We're trying to find a partnership for Venner because none of the other strikers are doing any good. On the flip side of that, I am conscious of the fact that Venner might be playing well for Venner, but since he's been here, we've been losing a lot of games, and maybe we just need to bin him off completely. But it just seems so counterproductive to drop the one player who's averaging over a 7 at the moment. So, for now, Venner plays and hopefully grabs a couple of goals today and gets himself into some kind of goal-scoring form. Although looking at the conditioning, his conditioning is worse than everyone else in the team at the moment. Not by a lot, he's still above 90%, but might be due a little bit of a rest. Maybe go Brown and Graziani. Maybe give Afsharian another try. I mean, this would have been a good game for Afsharian, but there's no point. We know he can score against championship teams, and we're going to lose against him anyway. But there's no point just bringing Afsharian in when we know he's also not scoring consistently in the Premier League. Nobody is. Oh, this is such a hard season. And the really scary thing is, even if we manage to survive, unless we're given £100 million to spend this summer, which we won't, we've only got 20 million in the bank, next season we're almost certainly going to get relegated anyway, because the only thing keeping us out of the relegation zone right now is that first half dozen games where, because we were still buoyant and motivated from getting promoted from the Championship, we won games we shouldn't have won. We beat Chelsea, we beat Man United. We're not going to have that next year. We're just going to start in the form that we're in now, and we're going to get relegated. So we're either going to go down this year or next year. Part of me thinks we're better off going down now and then having a fun promotion season again while we continue to build a Premier League quality team from down in the Championship. We'd then come back up in our own stadium with players who are that little bit more experienced that have had their year in the Premier League. I don't know. Obviously, the best thing to do is to try and stay up. I'm not going to deliberately try and get relegated, but I do wonder if it might actually be better for the club going forward for us to go down now, come back up again sooner, because I don't see a scenario where we don't get relegated either this season or next. We saw it in the Championship. We got promoted. We survived a year. It got really hard towards the end of that year. We went down the following year. But then we came back up and we were a much better team for it. And I just wonder if we can fast forward that process by getting relegated now. Right, Venner is coming off. Venner's not been playing very well. So we're going to stick Brown back over to be a target man. We've got to be able to beat Bristol City. That's the really scary thing, looking ahead to next season. Because Bristol City are in the Championship. Right, Graziani can apparently play as a target man. Can you do complete forward? No. I don't really get how a player can be a complete forward, how a player can play comfortably as both a target man and an advanced forward, but then not be able to play complete forward. What element of being complete forward is he missing there? Because to my mind, a complete forward is the combination of the two. That's why they're so useful. We're not going to get into this. We're not going to score, are we? Inexplicably. I mean, does this tell us that the diamond doesn't work? There's an FA Cup semi-final at stake here, and we're rubbish. We've had 38% possession. I don't think this diamond works. I think I need to stop fiddling with the system and just try and stay up the way we got promoted and the way we've had all our success. Stop fiddling. We've cost ourselves a place at Wembley by fiddling with the system here. Hull is in, and somehow, some way, we have grabbed a goal. I don't think Sean Hull knew anything about it at all. But in the 91st minute, we do grab an equaliser that is so unfair on Bristol City. So Graziani nods down. Earl plays it. I mean, Hull does make a good move, but then it's a slide tackle on Hull and it deflects into the back of the net. Is there replays at this stage of the FA Cup? Because we could really do without a replay. No, extra time. Right, does that mean we get to make another substitution? I think it does. We've got Palaiso and an injured Barron on the bench. I mean, It's nothing massively inspirational, but what we can do is bin off this stupid diamond and say, right, let's go try and win this football match in the time that we've got by playing the system we know can beat championship teams. So, back to the 4-3-1-2 for extra time. A place at Wembley at stake, remember? We want this. I really want this. Wembley would be fun. If we're going to get relegated, we may as well get relegated and have a trip to Wembley to enjoy it. Why does Egan look the wrong way before he takes a goal kick? I noticed it earlier in the match and didn't mention it. He's just done it again there. I assume the crowd are just giving him stick and he's chatting to him or something. I don't really know what's going on there. That was a James Ball-esque through ball from Earl there. But neither Graziani or... Who's he playing with? Graziani and Hull? Neither of them were alert to it. Earl, ball over the top towards Graziani, but he can't get there, but it's with fear. And now Hull plays it to Graziani, who misses. We are now looking like the better team. Stats-wise, we are coming back into this game now. I think this is making my mind up that we're doing the 4-3-1-2 for the rest of the season, because we have looked much the better team since the switch. I know it's only been 4 minutes, but we're actually creating some chances and getting forward, which we weren't ever doing before. But now we've conceded again. We're being mugged. We're being mugged in the FA Cup quarter-final, which is dirty. What a dirty place to mug us. I don't want to see your rotten replay. Stupid football manager. Right. Egan's looking back there again. What is his problem? I might bring Lee Hugo back into the team. Did I mention I had to drop him into the reserves as well? Because he was a team leader who was moaning about not getting to play games. I'm arguing with all my senior players and just sending them to the reserves. Our under-23 team is probably the strongest in the country now. The amount of first-team players and team leaders I'm sending down there. I'm just falling out with everybody. I'm losing the dressing room here. I shouldn't be close to being fired, but goodness me, if I was the Nuneaton chairman, I'd be looking at this thinking, look, we expected to come up and struggle. We didn't expect to come up and have you fall out with all of your senior players and fill the reserves with players on 15, 20 grand a week. We're still only Nuneaton. We can't afford to pay reserves 20 grand a week. Palaiso with the chance for an equaliser and misses spectacularly. I don't even know where that ended up. I think he hit the stats box that was there because it disappeared. It's just rubbish. We've had our opportunities in this game and we are just not taking them. Confidence is rock bottom. We don't have any leaders because I've put them all in the reserves. No one's taking the game by the scruff of the neck. We've had to strip Josh Sawyer of the club captaincy. So Levi Hayes is our captain now. And he's not a regular starter, but who do you give the captaincy to? Oh, I'm just gonna cry. If I just sit here and cry, do you reckon the game will notice and let me have a break? I don't even need it in this game. I need a break in the next match. I need them to just give me a win. That Sean Hull goal that we equalised with here, I would have much preferred it as a winner in the next Premier League game, just to help us stay up. Because, this second half of this extra time, we've shown nothing. Absolutely nothing. So perhaps it doesn't matter what system we play at this point. The players' heads have gone. We're out of the FA Cup. Bristol City find themselves in the FA Cup semi-final. And we find ourselves with, 7 games remaining. And in a real struggle to stay in the Premier League. 7 games remaining. Stoke didn't win the game in hand, thankfully. 7 games remaining, 7-point gap. We shouldn't be getting relegated. But the form we're in, we're going to have to rely on Stoke and Palace allowing that to happen. Oh, good, we play Liverpool next. I was hoping we'd play someone good. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.